it does feel like a console interface.
Would you say that, given the history of Blizzard as a company and etc., that you think they might resolve this issue, that they might take on board the criticism and deal with it, or will the community, as has been the case in the past with Icy Cup and things like Kali in the ancient past, will the community have to deal with it and build a solution around it? Or what is your gut feeling?
Well, with Blizzard's current stance against third-party communities such as IC Cup, I'm not quite sure if there's going to be a private server like IC Cup. So I think the responsibility for StarCraft 2 as an esport is probably going to rest squarely on Blizzard's shoulders, just based on how their stance is currently towards Battle.net 2.0 and it's seemingly how they want to run the esports scene. So, it's Blizzard is Blizzard. If any company was going to take care of what needs to be done and what the community wants, it's going to be Blizzard. But of course, as we all know, Blizzard is no longer the Blizzard of old. Blizzard is now Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I hope they listen to the community. Beta is currently down right now, and it won't be up for probably another month. But when it does come up, maybe we'll see the changes that we were hoping for. And maybe not. I hope that we do, but in the end, the responsibility rests squarely on Blizzard's shoulders. Even if Battle.net comes out the way it is right now, I think that just the fervor and the fire in all the StarCraft community, I think people will deal with the limitations, and I think that StarCraft 2 will still become a huge success. But Blizzard could definitely make that much easier if they made Battle.net 2.0 a little more accessible.
Yeah, I think the majority of people would agree, but as I've also said before, Blizzard, Activision or not, deserves the benefit of a doubt until proven otherwise. But something that has struck my mind, you mentioned the regional divide that currently exists in the StarCraft 2 beta, that the fact that you cannot, with the same CD key, connect to people from other regions over to other continents, so the servers are separated, and that contributes, at least in my mind, to differentiations in how the game is played. There are, at least to my uneducated eye, there are discernible differences between how people on the Asian server play, European, North American, and I think you would agree to an extent at least. How do you look at these differences, and are they, the regional gap or the stop on cross-regional connectivity is definitely not good, but the fact that there are different flavors of play, that is quite exciting. Would you agree?
It is exciting to have players be able to compete in their own region and be like, look, I'm the king of North America, or I'm the king of Asia. But at the same time, it can be thought of as limiting, because you might be the best in your region or one of the best, but you'll never be able to compete with somebody from, say, Europe and say, I'm better than I'm the best in both North America and Europe and the entire world likewise. So I think it can be thought of as a limitation, and I do think that the regions play quite differently, and this is just a testament to segregation and how communities differ once they're segregated. If you've got a community of players A and a community of players B, and you separate them completely, not even mentioning the language barrier divide, and just let them play it out, the strategies and the metagame within that region are going to be different. It's quite obvious, as indicated by the fact that for the longest time in Korea, in the Asian servers, Zerg was actually the dominant race, and it was hard for players to stop. On top of that, if you check out the Pain User interview, I believe he mentioned that in general on the Asian servers, players play much more aggressively. You see a lot more one-base Zerg builds, and this is true from what I've casted of these games on the Asian server. Players play far more aggressively. There's a lot more one-base play, whereas here on North America or maybe even on Europe, it's more macro-oriented. So I think that the metagame and the strategy is definitely different. Things are different because of the region separation, and I don't know if that's a good thing. I think that Brood War was very integrated by the end of its life, and I regret saying that because Brood War is still going on strong. Brood War is very integrated across the world right now, and so I think StarCraft 2, I think it needs to be integrated in the long run.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I certainly hope that will be easily accessible to achieve. But rather, I would say that the sort of different regional orientations of play are interesting when they do meet, when they do clash, and when they inevitably integrate, because I'm convinced that will be very customary eventually. I'm sure there will be a way, and there will be a demand, so there will be a way, I'm convinced. And then I think it could be a very rich fauna of different play styles that people can emulate, gather, and pick different pieces from to best your other opponents. Take different parts of different cuisines and make a dish of ownage. Anyway, we do hope that Blizzard helps to resolve the technical issues and make the game more accessible. But speaking of making eSport more accessible to the many, MLG, Major League Gaming, that is a big name in the States. In Europe, I do not think they have a very strong role, certainly not on TV that I'm aware of, and there's no direct or as strong equivalent. But they've been, you just confirmed, they've been talking to you and others about doing StarCraft 2 broadcasts. Can you tell us a little bit, for those of us who don't live in the States, what Major League Gaming does and where do you think they'll be going, and if they can make StarCraft 2 a common staple thing in common households?
Yeah, well, Major League Gaming stands for, or MLG stands for Major League Gaming, and they are pretty much the largest North American provider of esports, both on the internet, and for a short while they tried to transition to television. I don't think that worked out too well, but that could be a possibility for the future as esports is continuing to grow. And Major League Gaming really made their, their footprint in the esports community with World of Warcraft. And you guys might be listening and saying, "Oh, World of Warcraft, that's not an esport game." Well, the fact of the matter is a lot of people play World of Warcraft, especially here in North America. I probably know like half of my friends play. And so it was something that it's something that permeates the community in North America. People are now aware of MLG, and Blizzard is working very closely with MLG from what I gather. And I think that MLG will probably be the premier source for StarCraft 2 and any leagues as well as tournaments. I think that Major League Gaming is probably going to be able to broadcast the best StarCraft 2 tournaments, and I'm excited because they've been talking to Husky and I. So it's going to be pretty awesome.
It certainly sounds like it, and that would be a quite official, high state-of-the-art kind of production with cameras and microphones and people wearing ties, that kind of thing, or will it be sort of the YouTube format we know with a bit more extra on it? What do you think?